Well, I'll tell you, I've been doing this for, gosh, now almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 51. That's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
And the guys that train me, I call them the old timers. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Guys in their 60s, you mean?
Well, they were older. I mean, they were in their 70s. I mean, I was 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And they were in their 70s and 80s, and they've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how different their portfolios that they structured back in the 70s and 80s were versus what you see today.
Yeah.
They, if somebody came to see them and said, you know, I'm retired, I got $1 million, and I want to take out, you know, $40,000, $50,000 a year, 4 or 5%. What would they have done for the clients back then versus today?
Yeah.
Well, back then they didn't have, you know, the mutual funds were not what they were.
Yeah.
You didn't have ETFs. You didn't have any of this sophistication that you have.
Right.
But what they did really understand is that if you bought great companies that paid consistent and large dividends, that the money would last forever. Mm-hmm. So those portfolios back in the 70s and early 80s would have been structured with AT&T, Verizon, in today's day and age, AT&T, Verizon, DuPont, Kraft, Altria. These are, you know, BP, Royal Dutch, Diageo. These are all companies that pay over 5% dividends.
Yeah.
So they might put the whole thing, or you know, Southern Company, a utility, Baltimore, you know, Constellation now.
Well, Constellation's got problems.
Well, I don't think these lights are going to go out anytime soon.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Oil stocks too. BP and all the gas companies, they're worth, I guess, investing in.
Yeah. So anyway, what they do is they put together a diversified portfolio of 15 to 20 stocks that paid great dividends, and the dividends kept coming in. It's not like they stopped.
Yeah.
And they didn't really worry about what the individual price of the stock did, because that was the way they could fund that person's retirement. So now, in today's day and age, somebody would look at that and say, oh my gosh, they have 100% of this person's money in the stock market and they're 65.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Well, that was the right thing to do at that time.
At that time, yeah.
That's how much things have kind of changed.
No.
But there's still a lot of wisdom to what they were doing, because dividend-paying stocks, dividend-paying mutual funds, dividend-paying ETFs are very consistent producers of dividend. And they don't go down when interest rates go down. You know, everybody who was, you know, on cloud nine in the late 80s, early 90s, because their CDs were paying them 8%.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well,
not anymore.
Right, they're all broke.
Jeez.
So
and Bernanke has come out and said he's keeping the interest rates low.
Yes,
Yeah, as does the rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, they're in a problem. They have it's no different problem right now than they have, you know, 2 years ago. It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
They have to keep interest rates low, because if they don't, you talk about unemployment. If they raise them, it's going to get worse.
Let me ask you a question that I think is a great topic of conversation everywhere. What are your thoughts on the banks, buying out the banks, subsidizing the banks? Do you think that was the right move? Was it a necessary move, totally?
Well, I'm not a banking expert.
Yeah, but you've got a modicum of...
My opinion,
yeah.
Okay, and this, I guess, gets into realms other than just pure advice, is that they should never be in a position where they're too large to fail.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because they need to be able to fail. Okay? They need to be able to fail so that the executives at the banks...
As the S&Ls did.
Yeah, exactly. So that the executives at the banks can't take the types of risks that would even have them fail.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It's like a catch-22.
It is.
If I can't fail, then I'm going to take crazy risk. And if I fail, they'll bail me out.
Well, the whole thing with the homes and the derivatives was crazy. But however, the bankers are still garnering nice fat bonuses for some strange reason.
And people can't understand it.
I don't understand it.
No one can. In fact, Charlie Rose and Warren Buffett were on having a discussion last night, and that's what he said. He goes, people just can't understand why they're being bailed out.
No.
The average person can't understand, and I can't either.
No, I can't. It eludes me.
Did you have to bail them out at that time? Well, according to the smartest people in the world, the answer was yes.
Yeah, but do you still keep giving these guys bonuses?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. And I do not at all buy the idea of, well, if you don't compensate these people, they'll go elsewhere.
Oh, that's a load of hooey.
Yeah. Well, where are they going to go?
Yeah, where are they going to go?
Okay. There's no place.
Nuh-uh.
So, will they move to Hong Kong? Will they move to India? Will they go, perhaps?
Well, Hong Kong, I don't know. HSBC is Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, as you well know.
Okay. So.
And they've just laid off 7,000 people.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's also, I mean, that's worldwide now, but.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of bailouts in any way, shape, or form.
No.
It leads to very bad business habits and risk taking that is not proportional.
Absolutely not. And it's our money they were taking the risks with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
then they get our money again to be bailed out.
Yes. So I don't think anyone understands it or
no, it's
agrees with it.
You know.
But it's happening.
It is happening still.
Yes.
There's a big furor. AIG's people are all set to get great big bonuses.
Sure. Well, AIG's an interesting case in that the whole company, with the exception of not even 1% of the people that were doing the derivative trading, successful and profitable.
Yeah.
And they let this piece get away.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Poor any way you look at it, it's poor management.
Yeah.
But it brought down everybody else. So about 400 people brought down 100,000+ of their fellow employees.
That should not have happened. That's bad management.
It's bad management in my mind, and that's a different business than the banking business, though.
Oh yeah.
So, but they were in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what to say about beyond that, other than no one I know is happy about it.
No, I can't imagine so. I really can't, except the people receiving the bonuses. I'm sure
which they think they deserve.
They're ecstatic. We had this gentleman in Scotland who headed the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Okay.
And you probably heard him. He was referred to as Fred the Shred.
Haven't heard of him.
Oh boy. Well, they were going to tar and feather him. He lives, as a matter of fact, not too far from where we are.
Okay.
In a very posh area, and he immediately took off for Monaco to hide, and refused to give up this unbelievable pension that he was going to get. So, the local folks went over and defaced his house.
Okay. Well, that's not going to happen here, I think. Even though there was that trader, I can't remember his name, who was due he would work for Citicorp.
Okay.
Great trader. And this is one of the, you start thinking about it. He actually, through his acumen, and generated enough profits for the firm that he was entitled to a $100 million bonus.
Oh, how nice.
Okay. Well, but he had done. I mean, he had basically was the best trader in the world.
That's obscene.
Well, not if you make $1 billion.
Well, I think there should be some regulations and controls on these bonuses. I think.
Perhaps I won't get into that, but he was generating legitimate profits, and he is not, because he is part of Citicorp, and because Citicorp, of course, is owned majority, or not majority, but mostly by the government now.
Right.
He's not going to get that bonus, or maneuvers were made so that because he feared for his life, just like Fred the Shred.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Must have feared. So, anyway, it's a difficult situation right now.
It is.
But again, we say the same thing over and over again. Your investment plan should be the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you never look at it.
Yeah.
No, you look at it often, but you look at it through the same analysis. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you look at the situation, you go, okay, this is what I should be doing now. If I run a financial literacy website, it's called.
I'll have to go look at that.
Well, okay, it's www.financialtales, TALES.
Oh, I get your emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so on there I talk about what it is I've had. Having done this for some time, what I've done is I've created a number of client interactions and client scenarios, mistakes I've seen people make, mistakes I've made, other advisors and whatnot, and I write them all in the form of a tale.